Is Army of the Dead the next big zombie movie franchise? That's what we're going to discuss on today's episode. Hey, it's me, AP, and welcome to the Saturday Movie Show. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday, everyone. It is a jolly good Saturday here in the UK. A jolly good week of watching movies. I've had a really fun week of watching movies this week. It's been great, and Army of the Dead. The big new zombie movie franchise came out as well. Watched that this week, and that's what today's show is going to be looking at. We're going to today do a big deep dive into Army of the Dead and discuss the future of the franchise, the spin-offs, the sequels, potential sequels, comparing it to other big zombie movie franchises out there, and just taking an overall look at the Zack Snyder Army of the Dead movie. So I'm really pumped for this episode. I think it's going to be a fun episode of the Saturday Movie Show. But before we get into anything, let's get into some not so blockbuster housekeeping for the show. This part of the show where we discuss some of the things going on with the channel, some of the content surrounding the channel as well. First of all, again, as always, thank you very much for a really positive, good week of views and people checking out the videos, commenting on the videos. One thing is as well, I always maybe sometimes miss out, but the fact that always on the channel, on the comments on the videos that I'm putting out here, all the comments always seem super positive, and I love that. I love that there's hardly any. I would say there's like a zero amount of. I don't see them anyway. Maybe I'm just blind to negative comments. But all the comments I see in the comment section on YouTube, always super positive comments about movies and just general topics we discuss in this community. All surrounding the big movie related topics. Home theaters, physical media. It's always just cool just reading them comments and just interacting with other people in the community. And as I said last week, just seeing other people communicate with each other is awesome as well. But just thanks again just for keeping everything super positive in the community. I don't like negative comments, and I'm sure you don't like it. I don't want to see negativity. So it's really cool that I see so far in this community just awesome, positive comments going out there, which is really nice and really cool. And kudos to you all for being super nice with one another and with myself as well. It's really cool. This week, I'm just double checking, making sure we're still running. We're recording. We are recording. It's always that worry when you're doing any type of video, especially when I do the Saturday Movie Show, because there's like hardly any edits in it. I sort of like split it up halfway through the show, because my camera can only record so long. I think it records about 20 minutes and then it'll cut out. So apart from that, there's hardly any edits. So if I just talk through all of it, but normally when I do like a normal weekly video, they're really like edited out. They're sort of like this section, cut it all down, make it all look nice and neat. And whereas a Saturday Movie Show, it's just sort of more like a live edition of the movie talk of what we're doing here on this channel. But it's really fun, but it's always that worry that like you're gonna look down and you've not pressed record on the button. I've done that before. I've done that loads of times in the past where I've started filming something and it's either like I've not pressed record on the video device, or I've not pressed record on the audio device, or the mic's not on. So the mic is on, the audio's running, the video's recording. We're all good. We're all sorted. Housekeeping anyway for this week. So what have I been up to for the channel related stuff this week? I've been working on, the other day I posted on Instagram that I have been recording the latest addition to the Patreon content. So Patreon content, we over there, it's extra content if you want it. I've been putting out webcomics for the last year or so on there. So I do like a webcomic series every Monday. And the last Monday of every month, I put out an exclusive movie-related podcast. And we've got the Watch Order Task Force, and we've got the Coffee and Movie Broadcast. And the Coffee and Movie Broadcast is probably my favourite so far to do. And we got the third episode coming out on Monday of that. It's just me talking about coffee, talking about movies, and it's really fun. So on this week's upcoming one, I'll be drinking mocha chocolate, a mocha, discussing the history of mocha, brief history, and then diving into a few different movies. I think I've got on that discussion. I'm talking about Nobody, Harry and the Hendersons, and Soul. 3 movies to discuss, and it's an audio only podcast, but it's just some more extra content if you're enjoying what you're hearing and viewing here. It's if you want a bit more content, it's only $1 to sign up monthly, and you can opt out whenever you want. So it's really cool. Thank you to the Patreons on there already. It's awesome to see some Patreons on there already. I really do appreciate it. So I've been recording that episode this week, the latest edition of that, which was really fun. I've been I'm gonna change it up soon as well. I feel like I'm transitioning the Patreon content as well to getting more podcast and more movie related content on there. I think you're gonna see it over maybe like the next couple of months where I kind of change things around and go for less like webcomics, less of the webcomics, but still continue the webcomics. But maybe just more podcasts, maybe like a shorter, like tidbit podcast, just tiny little small segment podcast, maybe like a 5-10 minute podcast. Because the Coffee and Movie Broadcast podcast is about 30 to 40 minutes long, so it's a fairly similar amount to what the Saturday movie show is really. But I do feel like it's just got a different tone, and I always feel when I do the audio stuff, I feel like I'm a bit more maybe a bit more relaxed doing it. And I think as well, because there's no camera on you, you're not like trying to focus on the camera as much. And it's cool that I have like the computer in front of me as well. So I can research, I can double check stuff. Here, I've just got the camera. It's a very like a makeshift setup here at this moment in time anyway. But that was really fun to do, and I've just been planning out some more content for maybe a bit longer down the road, some more extra content this week as well. Hopefully, again, at some point in the future, I'll get to share some more of the stuff I'm working on. But it's all in aid of making just more cool content for the channel and for all the content you see on whatever social media feeds. Another little side note as well, I will not in future be posting any videos to Facebook. I used to post every video I make, the Saturday movie show, and every other weekly video to Facebook as well. I got about 100 sort of disputes this week on copyright for music and stuff like that. It was weird because I always use I either use music I compose myself, or I use copyright free music and images. If I use anything like that, always really careful with that as a creator. And I got pulled on like loads of disputes for loads of different videos, and these are some of the videos like years ago. It was crazy, and I disputed all the videos, and a few days later, they said they took down the dispute and they said it's fine. But it kind of put me off like using Facebook. To be honest with you, I don't use Facebook personally anyway now. I've always feel like I got rid of my own Facebook account maybe like 4 or 5 years ago now, because I had no interest in it. Social media I wouldn't say I'm a social media guy anyway. I only do it for like purposes of doing like the YouTube stuff, and that's about it really. I don't use it as a personal account really. I don't put personal photos up. I have done in the past, but it's something I just don't like doing now. And with Facebook, it was one where I didn't feel like a lot of people use it anyway now. I feel like Facebook has definitely diminished in its value for creators personally. And I feel like Instagram, YouTube definitely is the biggest one for myself. Instagram, and I think like TikTok is definitely becoming a significant platform for creators. I've used it briefly, but I'll be honest, I've not really dived into it, and maybe I will do more videos on TikTok as time goes on, but at this moment in time, YouTube and Instagram are my sort of main ones to go to, and Twitter, I just put the links up on there. But I'll be throwing the links on Facebook in future, but I won't be, from this point forward, I'm not going to be putting videos directly to it'll just be the YouTube link, because I can't be bothered with having copyright disputes. It's just a pain, you've got to go through all the disputes to take the claims off. Anyway, let's move forward into the headline topic of the show. So Army of the Dead. It comes out on Netflix this week. It came out now. It is released. You can watch it if you have Netflix. What did I think of the movie? Is this going to be the next big zombie movie franchise, just general zombie movie franchise? First of all, what did I think of the movie? I really enjoyed the movie. Zack Snyder movie. I've made it people aware on this channel. I like Zack Snyder. I like his movies. It's his first zombie movie since 2004's Dawn of the Dead remake. I really enjoyed Dawn of the Dead. I thought it was a great movie for the time. Even now, rewatching Dawn of the Dead, I think that is an awesome remake. I think I probably do enjoy it to the original Dawn of the Dead as well. I think it's a great movie. But Army of the Dead, it's his second dive into the zombie genre. How did he do? I thought it was a good watch. It was Dave Bautista was great. It was a great ensemble cast, a really good cast. The story was very different. So look, the basic story is it's like these super hybrid zombies take over Vegas, and it all gets then they get like they sort of lock them into the city. So Las Vegas then becomes the zombie city. It's a city where all the zombies are, and no one can get in, no one can get out. There's all craters around it, but there's a big casino there, and this guy, I think it's Tanaka, is like this rich billionaire guy. I think it's the guy who's in, what's he in? He was in Mortal Kombat. I can't remember the actor's name. I've got all the actors' names here. So, what was the character's name? It was Bly Tanaka, and it was by Hiroyuki Sanada. I butchered that name. I do apologize. Anyway, this character, Tanaka, hires Batista, who is like a freedom fighter who has saved people from the zombie apocalypse already, hires Batista to break in to Las Vegas to steal $200 million in this casino bank safe. And they have to break in, and they have to go through, obviously, all these zombies and to get the cash. But look, there's lots of things that go on in this story, and I will just say before I go any further, spoilers if you've not watched the movie. I've not really spoiled anything yet, but spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers ahead for Army of the Dead and everything else related to this franchise. So it's a different look. The premise of it is very much like your average zombie franchise tale. Do you know what I mean? It's zombie apocalypse, and it's just they kind of put like a new spin on it. It's like a heist movie where they go in to break in, but really the overall like general picture of things is just still Dawn of the Dead. It's your zombie, your Walking Dead, whatever. They're all the same sort of thing, aren't they? We all know this. So there's definitely where it does differ though from them other movies though is the little small little fleurs in there. And what I mean by that is, so there's in the story there's a few different things. At the very start of the movie, you can see there's UFOs, 2 UFO ships very briefly in the sky. And I only know this because I've read a few articles since. And I noticed that at the start of the movie. Throughout the movie, though, I noticed one of the zombies got shot, or there was like an explosion. And it looked like one of the zombies had like a Terminator face. It was like a metal eye and like a glowing eye. A metal face and a glowing eye. And I sort of like seen it when I was watching the movie. And I didn't know about this prior to watching it. And I was thinking, that looked like a robot face. It was weird. And then I went online, and then they said there's these. Apparently, there is robot zombies in it. So there's normal zombies plus there's robot zombies, but they've not really They didn't acknowledge it in the movie. It wasn't part of the movie. They didn't acknowledge it. It was like very brief, like an Easter egg, maybe teasing like some for a prequel or a sequel. So, are the robot zombies sent by the UFOs? Was the first zombie sent by? Because we have like this zombie king in this, and then we have a zombie queen. They're very intelligent, these zombies. They're not like sort of your Walking Dead zombies. They're more like hybrid zombies as well. So were they sent by UFOs? Are the robot zombies UFOs, or are they sent by the UFOs? Are they government robot zombies monitoring the city. There's lots of definitely open threads out there, open story threads, and they've obviously done this for a reason because they wanted to maybe say, look, we threw all these different little mixtures in here, and we could do more with this franchise. And it looks as though they probably will do more with this, and we will discuss that further on. But another little flaw in there as well is this time loop concept. So they're doing like they're in the safe, they're in the room where the safe is, and they're going to try and open it. And when they're going in there, there's three of the characters are going in there with the safe cracker guy, Dieter. They're going in there, and then one of the guys says they see three bodies, they see three skeletons on the floor, and they're like, one of the guys says, "Here's a theory. How about what if they are us? They are us, and we're in an endless, infinite time loop, and we're just getting tortured. And this guy Tanaka is the guy organising this time loop, and we're always doing this thing in it's like an infinite time loop." And then it's sort of like a throwaway line in the movie, and you don't really think too much of it. But then if you go online, some of the three skeletons, I think they have, one of them has the same necklace as one of the female characters. One of them has the red scarf that Dave Bautista wears, and the pilot, I think one of them has the same T-shirt. The pilot is wearing at some point in the movie. So they purposely, there is something there. So maybe again, maybe it's just a teaser. Maybe it's just something just to get the audience just like doing like a super massive amount of fan theories. And I'm sure a lot of people are now. Like, you go on the internet, type in Army of the Dead, time loop, type in robot zombies, you'll find like hundreds, thousands of articles on both of these topics. And I think it's an interesting concept. If they do either of those, like the robot zombies, UFOs, time loops, it's definitely going to add something else to just is a zombie apocalypse. And I think that's a good idea. And having like this zombie king, a zombie queen, it's all adding just new little elements into the zombie genre, the zombie horror genre, which I like. So look, we don't know where this is going to go forward, if we're going to get a direct sequel to this. I think Zack Snyder has said in some articles that he wants to do more stories with this, and we are, as I said, we are going to get some more sequels and prequels along the way, which is really cool. So we are going to dive into that soon on the show. So let's move on then. Let's move forward to discussing what could happen in a sequel, a prequel, and what sequels and prequels have already been confirmed by Zack Snyder and by Netflix. So first of all, let's discuss what we're going to get. So sequels for Army of the Dead. So we've got two sequels already confirmed coming up. The first one is Army of Thieves, and this will be a project that is a prequel to this movie. So it's a prequel at the start of the zombie apocalypse, and it will feature the safecracker character of Dieter in this movie. And the guy who plays that character, his name is Matthias Schweinhofer. He will actually be directing that movie. So that's Army of Thieves. And that is going to be another Netflix movie coming out this year, 2021. And that is going to be a prequel to Army of the Dead. And it's a story that has been penned by Zack Snyder. And I think I can't remember the other creator's name. It's two guys, Zack Snyder and another guy. And Zack Snyder will be a producer on this movie. So it's going to be more, again, we're going to see more of the characters, more of that Dieter character. And we're going to see what he was up to prior to Army of the Dead. And other than that, we've also got Army of the Dead Lost Vegas, which will be an animated show. There's a few different additions to this, but there's a lot of the main cast return to this animation. So it is an anime. And it's going to be, again, another prequel. And it's going to be set very much before like the events of Army of the Dead. And it's going to show like Dave Bautista, he's going to be voicing the character, his same character of Ward in the movie. A lot more of the characters, pretty much all the main ones in this. We're going to get additions like Joe Manganiello, Harry Lennox, they're both going to be in it as well. Christian Slater, I think he's in it as well. So that's going to be really cool, and that's set for 2021 as well. So First of all, in the first year of this new franchise, Army of the Dead, we're going to get 3 properties coming out. Uh, 2 movies and a TV animated show, which is about 6 episodes, I believe. So there's a lot of positivity there straight away. And I think if people really do like grasp into this and really get behind this, I think Netflix, because it's all behind Netflix. Netflix are putting all this out. I think maybe we might see more sequels along the way if they get a lot of people viewing this movie. I can't remember where I read an article, but it's something like I think it was like 78 million times it's been viewed already. Army of the Dead, something crazy like that. I may be wrong with that stat. I'll have to fact check that, or someone can fact check it and leave it in the comments below. I've seen an article somewhere online today. Um, but would I like to see more sequels? And what do I think of the sequels that we're already going to get, the prequels? I think the prequels sound really cool. I'm more excited to see the animation. I think the animation will be good to see what they do, whether it'll be like an R-rated animation. I don't know whether it will be yet, or will it be toned down. So I hope it is going to be R-rated. That'd be really cool. But it's something fresh, an animated, zombie TV show. That's going to be cool. Army of Thieves. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that character, Dieter, and seeing what he was up to prior to all this going down and the early stages of the zombie apocalypse. That's going to be nice to see. This movie kind of like, again, with all of like the time loop, the robot zombies, they could easily get all, if they decided they're going to do some sort of weird sci-fi movie, they could do a direct sequel and get a lot of the cast back, because a lot of the cast, spoilers, do all perish in this movie. They all die pretty much, apart from one, Ward's daughter. So if they say in a sequel that maybe this was all in some sort of time loop and there is more to this world than meets the eye, we could see a return of a lot of that cast, or maybe they just go with a fresh new cast and a fresh new story in this world of Army of the Dead. But I'd like to maybe see a story, just something fresh would be, again, to follow this idea of a time loop and maybe do something with that. That'd be quite interesting to see something with that. And I think if they put the teasers in, there's something there, isn't there? Surely there's something there. Or maybe as fans, we're doing what they wanted us to do. We're reading way too much into it. But I would love to see a sequel with that cast in. I like Dave Bautista. As a wrestling fan, I think Dave Bautista is just an awesome action guy now. He's a big guy. He's a good actor. I like him in movies. I like him in Guardians of the Galaxy. I like that he's getting centre stage as well now in this one. I know it was an ensemble cast, but he was very much the centre character of this movie. And it was good to see. I really like Dave Bautista. I think he's an awesome actor. Let's just move it sideways a bit, and let's talk about how this compares, though, to other zombie movie franchises, or just other zombie franchises in general. And the main one I wanted to talk about is The Walking Dead. So how does Army of the Dead, the franchise, compare to The Walking Dead? And I choose The Walking Dead because it's the most famous zombie franchise in modern times, The Walking Dead. We all know that. We all know what it is. We've had tons of spin-offs from The Walking Dead. We've had like Fear the Walking Dead. There's like another one, I believe. I've only ever watched The Walking Dead, and I must say, The Walking Dead, I quit watching it a couple of seasons back now. It just got a bit too much. I just found it a bit too. It was like tons of filler episodes, and the finales were amazing. Well, that was all it was, and it just, for me, it just sucked it out of the rest of the episodes. There was nothing there for me, and it just got a bit boring. So I stopped watching Walking Dead a few years back now. But let's compare it, because look, I had a lot of good times watching that program early on, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same. The early seasons of that were awesome, and it's different. It's a movie versus a TV show, but they're both in the zombie world. They're both very different, and I think, look, you're looking at it on paper. Well, look, on paper they're both the same thing, aren't they? Zombie apocalypse. But I think on paper, Army of the Dead could be different with all these little teasers of these different little things, like the UFOs at the start of the movie. So there's something different already there. in your mind, and watching this, you think this isn't just your normal zombie apocalypse. There's more to this. There was aliens. There's maybe government involvement, government contacting aliens, or creating robot zombies, creating their own zombies. There's obviously something going on here, and I think looking at the origins so far, the origin of Army of the Dead looks more interesting to me. Looking on, because Walking Dead is just very much zombie apocalypse. How do these people survive? Whereas this one is zombie apocalypse, but the rest of the world is now, it's living on, there's surviving, and it's all like locked in Vegas. And I think that's where Army of the Dead is sort of like trying to set itself. And I imagine they've done this purposely. They're trying to not make it feel like another Walking Dead, because we don't want to keep on seeing the same sort of thing from these zombie films, because they do get like, if it's the same thing every time, you might as well just watch Dawn of the Dead, because it's the same old scenario: zombies, survivors, zombies. Let's give us something different. And I think that's why it was good with having it as a heist movie as well. That they're going in to get money. Like, money still has value in this world, because the rest of the world is still going on like normal. They've got, it's like they've got it all contained now. They've got it contained to a certain point. This terrible virus, which is zombies. So I think the origins of what Army of the Dead is maybe throwing at us or teasing to us is more interesting than Walking Dead. But I'm not going to knock Walking Dead down, because The Walking Dead is still a great franchise, and I think at some point The Walking Dead could definitely be rebooted or remade as a bunch of movies. I'd love to see that at some point. I think a lot of people would love to see that as well. Having some sort of movie version of the Walking Dead story would I'm sure be amazing. But the Army of the Dead just interests me because it's different, and there's a lot of teasers in there for cool stuff for the future in future sequels, which I like. It's kind of like reminiscent of like Cloverfield, isn't it? I mean, I think Cloverfield Lane especially, that one it teased a lot, and we didn't really see a direct sequel to that, which was a shame. But I feel like it's a very similar idea to like Cloverfield Lane, where it's teasing stuff. We don't really know what is going on massively in the world around it, but it's an interesting story, and there's something interesting there which I really like. But anyway, either way, I enjoyed Army of the Dead. It was Army of the Dead was a great movie, great watch. If you've got Netflix, definitely check it out. Definitely check it out by whatever means you check out your movies as well. Well worth the watch if you're into zombie movies. If you're into horror movies, it's a really good watch, and I very much enjoyed it. But let's move forward, and we're gonna do the regular section of the show. It's time for Movies for the Weekend. Movies for the Weekend, the section of the show where I discuss some movie recommendations for you. And I think I had to recommend this first of all. Army of the Dead, you have to watch that one. Again, I've mentioned this in the whole show, so I'm not going to recap it all, but definitely if you like what I've talked about today in the show, if you're interested by it, if you've seen the trailers, definitely check out Army of the Dead. Another movie I'm going to recommend as well, I'm just going to get it from the shelf here, ladies and gents. It's one I've discussed on the channel plenty of times, but and I've mentioned it on today's show as well. But Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder movie, and it is mad to think, right? He's done so far. He's had 2 big movies out this year, hasn't he? And it's not even 6 months into the year yet. Not even 6 months. And I know Justice League was filmed years ago. I get it. But how cool is that? Zack Snyder's had 2 massive movies out this year. Army of the Dead and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder just nails it. He's a great director. I like his directing. I like his movies. I think some people are a bit like on the fence with Zack Snyder. I kind of understand it, but then I'm like, to me, he makes perfect movies. He makes really good movies. So, again, it's just all subjective, isn't it? You like what you like. I like Zack Snyder movies. I think they're awesome. But Dawn of the Dead is the remake of the original I'm getting twisted here. Dawn of the Dead movie, and it is, for me, I enjoy this a lot more than the original. And it's not that I dislike the original. I think the original is a classic. I just think the sequel, the remake, is a lot better. I think it's just the updated version. It's just a much better version of the story, which I really enjoy. So if you've never watched Dawn of the Dead, it is well worth the watch. I'd even watch the original as well. That's worth the watch as well. So they are my two recommendations for today's movies for the weekend. So it's Dawn of the Dead and Army of the Dead, and they are the movie recommendations for this weekend. Anyway, let's talk about what have I been watching this past week. So, watched Army of the Dead. I've been watching a few movies as well. As I mentioned, the Coffee and Movie Broadcast, my Patreon exclusive movie podcast, which comes out on this coming Monday. I watched a few movies for that, and I've discussed a few movies on that. But I mean, one of the movies I discussed on that show, and I'll mention it briefly today because I really enjoyed it, was Nobody. Bob Odenkirk's Nobody. It was by the guy who directed Hardcore Henry, and it was produced by David Leitch. David Leitch, who directed the John Wick movies. I never watched the trailer properly, so everyone said it was like John Wick. I only watched a brief amount of it, so I couldn't really say. But I really enjoyed this. It was a John Wick feel to it. Bob Odenkirk nailed it. Bob Odenkirk, you'll know him from Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. He nailed the role, and it was a very different. It wasn't like Saul Goodman. It was a different character. It was very much more of like a drama. The character. I know there's a lot of drama in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, but he's a very serious role. This Hutch Mansell that Bob Odenkirk plays in this film. Nobody was a great movie, a great soundtrack, and I really enjoyed the story. And hope there's a teaser for maybe a sequel to come. And I hope it happens. I'd love to see it. I know I've heard online that there's like rumors of like a John Wick and Nobody cinematic universe. I love that idea as well. You could have like a team up of Hutch Mansell and John Wick. That would be awesome. But anyway, that was a good movie to watch. Another one I watched this week. I've watched a few. I watched Harry and Henson's. I finally got around to watching Soul. I watched half of it on Christmas Day. I finally got around to watching that. But anyway, what I did watch is the Eternals trailer. The Eternals trailer came out this week, and look, even before this trailer came out, I felt a bit mixed about this movie because I don't really know much about the characters. I know the cast looks amazing. It looks like an amazing cast, really good cast. But I don't know anything about all these characters, and it feels like a bit like the way I initially looked at Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, I don't really know what to expect here. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing because I do not know whether this is going to be a good movie. I don't really know what the concept of this story is going to be. It's going to be an interesting one. I didn't really think much of the trailer though. I thought the trailer was pretty bland. I don't think it really had a spark to it. I don't think it had that appeal to make you go, wow, this looks amazing. Maybe a few more trailers, I'll feel a bit differently about this movie, but so far, I'm not like super hyped for this Eternals movie. I'm going to watch it because I like MCU. I'm a big MCU fan. I just think this trailer was a bit flat, really. It didn't really show that much. Maybe they're doing that on purpose. They don't want to show too much of the story. But look, I'm looking forward to watch any Marvel movie, any superhero, any comic book movie. I'm looking forward to seeing anyway. But let me know what your thoughts are on the Eternals trailer. What did you think about? Anyway, that is the show for today. The Army of the Dead dedicated show discussing everything about Army of the Dead. I keep on thinking I'm going to say Army of Darkness when I say it. It's Army of the Dead. That's right, AP. Army of the Dead. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did like this video, please do click like and check out the rest of the content, movie-related content on the channel as well. I'm sure there's something in the list of content, and amongst all the videos, there's something there for you. Check out all the different content we have on this channel. It's all awesome. Join the conversation as well. Get involved with the community. Get commenting. Get talking about what you want to talk about with physical media, with movies. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what topics you want to see on future episodes of the Saturday Movie Show. That is an important one. I want to hear from you all. What topics would you like to see on future episodes? Because we are doing different weeks, different topics. We did the 90s revival the week prior, and then we did like the best Batman. Both really good shows. Both shows I really enjoyed, and both shows really brought in a lot of questions and a lot of comments and a lot of communication between us all, which is awesome to see. So let me know all your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on Army of the Dead. If you've watched this movie, what did you think of it? What do you think of the sequels coming up, the prequels to this movie? What would you like to see in a sequel as well? And what are your theories on this movie? I want to know all your theories, and let me know if I've missed any of these theories out. Maybe there's some more theories I've missed. I want to hear them all. But let me know all your thoughts, and thank you as always. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you as always next time.